When you feel like you're nothing, but you wanna be something. Yeah. Well, all you really need is hope. I just want you to trust me if you wanna be something. Yeah, that's right. Let's go.
So as you can see, I am in a horse trailer, but what you might also be able to see is I'm not in my horse trailer. So all right, so I'm actually not here by myself. I'm here with Jeremy. I don't know how to pronounce your last name.
Spitzer.
Spitzer. And can I get you to take your eyeglasses off?
Yes.
Thank you. You can't hide up pretty eyes. So Jeremy has agreed to talk with me, and I'm going to ask him just a couple questions. But first, before we do that, I'm going to take a deep breath, and I'm going to see you on the other side. Well, if you are this far, you have figured out that this video is not just about me in this trailer. I took a little road trip. I met a really interesting guy named Jeremy, his horse named Fame, a few other horses, a lot of wisdom in a little bit of window of time. I hope someday to be able to bring you longer videos, but right now we are technically limited, which includes, it wasn't the wind that was in the background, it was the freeway noise that was in the background. Someday I'll actually get a quiet spot to record, but lots of good stuff. I hope you'll take the time to not notice the noise and listen to the words. I also hope that you will follow up with the links below. I didn't do a lot of background on his story. You can find that all at his website, charlie5.org, and listen to some of his background. I just wanted to get to the heart of the matter, and so we did that. Here we go. It's noisy, so I'm going to just let him talk.
Well, there was a moment there when things kind of just came together, or I just snapped, and I realized that I wasn't broken, that I could actually live and live a life that wasn't bogged down in fear and anxiety and depression and things like that. And it was just a moment on the back of a horse 100 miles from nowhere where I just realized that here I am, and I'm living, and I'm doing things that I never thought I would be able to do again. There in my own thoughts, by myself, disconnected from everything. I didn't have access to a phone. I couldn't, internet home. Smoke signals would have been the best that we could get out there. And so...
what happened after you thought that? What was the next thought?
Well, my whole mindset kind of changed from trying to avoid everything to try to just be there and be a part of the moment and live in that moment instead of thinking about all the things that can go wrong. I think is from where I come from and being in the military, you're taught and you learn to think about anything that might arise. And I think oftentimes that's to the detriment of the individual once they get out of the military, because you don't have to stop and think about every possible thing that's going to go wrong in order to potentially survive or keep other people safe. So you have to start to live in the moment and be present instead of distracted by everything that's going on around you.
Yeah, when you're feeling down and you're out, like you got nothing but doubt, you're alone in the crowd, just trying to figure it out. All of this cloud and this money got you feeling left out. Listen up to me now, every word that's out of my mouth.
He's about 10 years old, and up until about 4 years ago, he'd never been touched by a human hand.
And how long have you had him?
I've had him for almost 2 years now. I adopted him from some folks in Arizona a little over 2 years ago. They started him. They got him straight from the BLM
He's a Mustang?
facility. Yeah.
What's his name again?
His name is Fame.
Oh, Fame. Should we sing? No wonder you like to pose for the camera, huh?
And when you feel like you're nothing, but you wanna be something. Yeah. Well, all you really need is hope. I just want you to trust me if you wanna be something.
When I left for Montana, I really didn't like going to the grocery store by myself. When I came back from Montana, my wife she wasn't understanding the concept of who I was now, because now I'm more outgoing, I'm more excited, I'm saying yes to things that I wasn't saying yes to before. I'm more capable. I'm saying hi to people at the grocery store, or holding the door open for the person at the post office and saying good morning. Whereas before, I just lived my life with my head down and just try to avoid anything that I possibly could. Before, I'd just get up and go to work. I'd survive my day at work, and I'd come home and I'd eat supper and I'd go to bed. And the horse really enabled me. It gave me something besides just getting up every morning. I think at the lowest of lows, getting out of bed was really difficult. But once I started interacting with the horses and had horses that I had to work with every day, that gave me something to look forward to every day. That was my purpose. I had to get out of bed. I didn't have a choice. I couldn't lay there and wallow in self-pity because I had horses to take care of. They don't feed themselves. They don't get water themselves. So those steps that we take, those things that force us, you're driven into having to do things and keep you moving forward. Those are the steps that I took to getting to where I am today.
And how important was it that you were taking a horse, and it wasn't about you, it was about the horse, versus why you weren't able to do that for just yourself, for your wife?
Well, the horse can't take care of itself.
So it needed you.
It needs you. There's a purpose. You have to have. Getting up and going to work every day and filing paperwork really wasn't a purpose. I had to do it to pay the bills, but it really wasn't my purpose. The horse, getting up every day, feeding, making sure it's healthy, it's not broken, there's nothing wrong with it, making sure it has adequate water, and getting out there and starting to work with it and seeing the horse overcome its own obstacles, and that's really what was the driving factor. I had to get up. The horse wasn't going to feed itself. It wasn't going to take care of itself. It needed me. It was looking to me to be a leader. That's what I had been in the military. I was a leader. The horse is looking to me to be a leader, whether providing it with the food and everything that it needs, and also providing it with things to occupy its mind. If you leave a horse just sitting in a stall forever, the horse is going to become crabby, and it's not going to be a very fun horse to work with. But the more you use its mind and you exercise its body and its mind, the better off you're going to be.
If you wanna be something, yeah, then all you really need is hope. Take a look in the mirror, are you seeing some fear? You hear the voice in your ear, can you start to see clear? Are the bad thoughts near? Or can you be where your feet are when you stand right here and say no? I'm never gonna give up, I'm never gonna slow. The one that doesn't give up never loses to a foe. The one that can show to myself I could go all the way to the top, can't stop me. I'm a soldier, always closer till it's over. Older, but I'm bolder, moving forward, motor, never slower. Get to know ya, don't come make me drop my shoulder. You need to believe you can achieve everything that you dream. Everything that you need is in the air that you breathe. It's in the mind that you feed. It's in the time that you bleed. Every second of life is another blessing to me. So
I'm going to ask you a hard question. I don't know if it's going to go in or not. What was the difference from your wife asking you to get up because she needs you and the horse needing you, and the difference that made? She did, but it wasn't enough. And that's how I think as women, or as the support person, we feel frustrated because us trying to help isn't enough. As women, us trying to help isn't enough. What is it, can you think about in your mind what the difference was, her asking you to move forward versus you choosing to do it for the horse?
The horse didn't give me that option. I had to go. The horse wasn't going to feed itself. The horse wasn't going to take care of itself. And then on top of that, there was a challenge there. The challenge to get a horse to a level that I wanted it to be at through training and working with the horse. To get a horse, simply to get a horse to pick up its feet. A horse doesn't just automatically let you at birth go over there and pick up its feet, especially the horses that we work with. You have to work with it, and you have to stay on task, and you have to keep moving forward day after day.
So, and this is just for me. So what I'm hearing is that a wife who's a partner doesn't have that same need as someone the horse that you're working with. So it's a different kind of relationship?
It's absolutely a different kind of relationship.
Okay, and so it's not personal? for the spouse or the children or whatever?
No. What started this whole thing, what got the ball rolling in this whole thing, was that I recognized that I wasn't providing the life for my wife that she deserved.
So you're doing it for her, but you can't do it with her.
Right.
I think that's important.
But I knew what she wanted out of life. I knew that from the very, very beginning. I could not give that to her, and I had to make that choice. That was my rationale. I couldn't rationalize it for myself to say, I want to do this for me because I want to live a better life. Because I was content in the life that I was living. But I knew my wife was not content.
So she was the motivation, the horse was the process.
The horse was a process and the tool. Absolutely.
Tool. Okay. All right. That's good. Okay.
When you feel like you're nothing, but you wanna be something. Yeah. Well, all you really need is hope. I just want you to trust me if you wanna be something. Yeah. Let's go. Yeah.
One of the things we talked about was now you want to help other people.
Right.
Because it worked for you.
Exactly. They come to us typically because they want a horse.
So they want the horse, but they don't understand the process.
Exactly. And so they've seen or they've engaged in something that has to do with horses somewhere along the way. They've already engaged in horsemanship, and they're looking to continue doing that on their own. And so we use my experience as a model. That's what I did. I went out and I rode horses in the mountains, and I felt I came home. I was a different person. My wife didn't recognize me, and now I'm doing it on my own because it helps me get out of bed every morning. I feel more full of life. I know that a bad experience on a horse is something that isn't going to last a lifetime.
It's what you need when you're down, need when you're out. What you need when you're sad and when you feel left out. You feel an energy drop and then creeps doubt, but with a little bit of hope you can figure it out. Keep your head high even when you're down inside. Through the pain you fight and through the painful nights you keep striving, keep trying, keep driving, rising, keep thriving, surviving. Nothing's in your way but yourself. Don't need nobody's help. You can make it through this hell. Take it one step at a time, one step as you climb. If you fail you'll be fine. Get back up to the grind and never lose sight of your mission. Be driven. This life is a prison if you don't have vision. You're in it to win it, so get it, don't miss it. Your chances now, so be something somehow. Don't let yourself down.
So I want to say thanks for watching. If you want to learn more about Jeremy and his program, there's links below this video. If you want to support him, I'm sure that would be okay with him too. Go ahead, visit his site, do some good.
That's right. Sometimes all we really need is hope.
All right, well, I just wanted to say thank you. I appreciate you taking the time to talk with me. We might do it again sometime if I can do a longer video, because we had an awesome conversation the first time on the phone. So with that, we're going to take a deep breath, and I am going to see you next time.